Hi everyone, I'm David Lopez. I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Humanitarian Engagement, CHE, on the Walla Walla University campus. I get to wake up every day thinking about ways of raising the horizon of service. How do we do that? Well, one way is by being a hub, a resource for students. If you're interested in getting involved in ways in helping others, we can help you with that. Come talk to us. Secondly, by providing a signature project. For the last 2 years, we've been developing a partnership with Adventist Health and been working in the community to develop something that's going to be launched this fall. So stay tuned. And another way is through service learning, implementing what you've just learned into helping others. Engineers Without Borders does this perfectly by teaching them how to be project leads, and then they do that in countries all around the world and right here at home. One of the challenging things that we have to figure out during this time is how to do all of these things that we've done in person in an emotional and in a personal way virtually. Today I'd like to take you on a tour of some community partners that are doing a great job of supporting us here in Walla Walla. And I think you'll find many of them exciting and helpful as we go about. God's called us to be courageous, to be strong, to be faithful. So we are calling you to do the same. Come with us on this tour, and hopefully you'll find a way that you can be involved. We're here on College Avenue across the street from the bookstore. Come on in with me. This is the Chaplain's office. This is where Chaplain Andrea is, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about how to get involved with student missions.
Hey, come on in.
Thank you, Chaplain Andrea. Nice to be here. So this is it, huh?
Yeah,
this is the Chaplain's office.
This is. Welcome.
Cool.
Come on in.
So this is where typically you would have people come in and meet with you to find out what exciting opportunities you might have, right?
Absolutely. This is the
Awesome.
place.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So tell us a little bit about student missions and what you do here on the Walla Walla University campus.
Sure. So we just basically want to provide opportunities for students to grow spiritually and even in their leadership skills. Sometimes there's a lot that can happen academically and on campus, but sometimes it's even bigger than that. And so we want to provide an experience for people to have full-time service and see what God wants to do in their life through that.
That's exciting. So you have people all around the world is the idea, right? You have student missions that are everywhere.
Right.
So this program, Student Missions, has been going on for some time. Tell us a little bit about the rich history that it has.
Yeah. Walla Walla has a really rich history of student missions all the way back to the 60s. I think the first guy went to Alaska. And you don't have to look too far even now with student leadership to find people who have served as student missionaries. So it's a pretty big part of the culture here at Walla Walla. That's
exciting. Tell me a little bit about what you might do as a student missionary. What are some of the roles that might come?
Right. It's pretty endless, really. We do like to look at what people's gifts are, what their background is, what their education is, and find a good fit. There's a lot of teaching positions. You don't have to go too far for that. But we also have a lot with medical, in the medical field, even in construction and with marketing, media, videography. We can find pretty much a place for everybody.
That's cool. So we're trying to match it with what they're learning already. And
that's the best idea.
Very good. And tell me, does it need to be a year or can it be something shorter? If I have the summer, if I have 3 months, a quarter off?
Mm-hmm. So typically it's a school year. That's what most people think of when they hear the word student missionary. But we do have a lot of people who will go just for a quarter or for a couple of quarters, sometimes to fill in gaps if another student missionary has had to leave for illness or for some reason. But yeah, and we even have other opportunities that are shaping up right now to be a little bit less time. But it's more than just a short-term trip, but it doesn't have to be a full school year if you're not ready quite for that.
I know that we've been working with Adventist Community Services on some exciting opportunities coming up with CHE and Student Mission. Can you tease that out a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about what that might look like here in the Pacific Northwest?
What I love about this opportunity is that I think it's an opportunity for students to take what they're learning on campus academically and apply it in a community setting that enriches the life of the people there as well as the church there in that community. So I think it's a really good partnership and I'm excited to see how it develops.
So even with COVID, things are changing, there's all these challenges. Is there still something I can do?
Yes, there is. We actually have, normally we have, 50, 60, 70 SMs, but right now we're down to 8. But we're actually super excited for those 8 here, right here in the United States. They're serving at boarding academies, a Native American reservation in Arizona, a tiny little village in Alaska. So there's still plenty to do right now, even this year, and we're trying to support them. But we're also preparing for next school year. That's kind of what we do here is we don't want to just send you out in 2 weeks and like see you later. We're ready to prepare you, and that can take a little while. So this year we'll be working hard to give some information to help steer students toward the opportunities that will hopefully be available for next school year. But obviously everything's fluid, so we'll see what happens. But we're pretty committed to sending people out, whether that's domestically or internationally, as much as possible.
Excellent, excellent. So I asked you to think about a Bible verse, and you spit back Ephesians 3:20. This is a prayer of the Ephesians, right? This is a prayer of praise. Tell me why that's important to you, and if you need the Bible to read it, or if you know it.
This one I know by heart. I don't know a ton of verses by heart, but this one actually I learned my sophomore year. When I was in college, and I was actually preparing to be a student missionary. I had already made that decision, but I felt so unworthy and so unprepared. And sometimes you feel like you should be a different kind of personality even. And I was a little more introverted, and I was going to be a youth volunteer worker, and I was like, I don't know about this, but I want to do it. And so I ran into this verse in Ephesians 3:20, and it says, by his mighty power at work within us, he is able to accomplish infinitely more than we would ever dare to ask or hope. And that's when I realized it wasn't really about me at all. It was just about my willingness to be a light and to do whatever it was that God had given me. But it was really God's power in me. And I think it's helpful for me even now, and even in this time that we're living in. We can feel like we're not really prepared, and we don't know how to reach out and to help people. But it's God's power in us as long as we're willing to do that.
Thank you for sharing. So as students are anticipating maybe next year going out as a full year or 6 months or 3 months, what can they be doing to prepare, and what should they be doing, I guess?
Yeah, where do you start? And I think really it's just start with dreaming. Start with talking to God, talking with your friends or your family. Might be kind of scary for them to hear those things right now, but really just start dreaming. You can go to our website here on Walla Walla, and you can see some opportunities, some calls that have typically been available. And of course, we'll be figuring out what's available in the future, but that's the best place to start. And start talking to, when you run into someone who has served as a student missionary, ask them their story, listen to their stories, and you'll have plenty to think and to pray and to dream about.
Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want to share with us today?
Yes, absolutely. I just want to also encourage you to take advantage of opportunities to serve right now. So whether that's just developing a heart of empathy for the people around you, whether that's taking advantage of a lot of these service opportunities in the community, that will start preparing your heart and your mind for even greater service opportunities, even full-time, taking a year out. You'll be ready for that the more that you can go ahead and serve now wherever you are.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.